Yo guys, AJ here. So we are gonna be doing some more modifications on our Datsun today. Today we're going to be taking off the rear bumper. The main part of the bumper is just this big, like 5 mile an hour bumper, and so there's a couple different pieces of the bumper that you need to actually take off. What we're gonna do today is just the main bumper itself, and then in the next couple days we'll be getting underneath the car because unfortunately, in order to take off the shocks that make this a 5 mile an hour bumper, you have to drop the gas tank. And that one you can do as a one person, but I enlisted some friends to help me. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. So I'm going to kind of run through on what to do to take this off. This part is actually fairly straightforward. There's a cap on this side and the other side to take. There's a nut behind this, so you basically take this off, and then I don't know if you can really see it, but there are actually, it's probably way too dark for you to see, but there's actually bolts that take this piece of the bumper and attach it to the actual back pieces. So that's kind of what we're gonna do, and so I'll bring you through and just give me a minute. Alrighty, so like I said, what we're going to do is be taking this big piece off. If you basically just grab yourself a flathead, and then you come over to this side, this little piece right here, if you just find a little nook, just like that. So that little nut piece, it's just like a rubber washer. Basically just makes it so water and crap doesn't get in there. And then, because it's a Japanese car, I'm guessing it's either a 12 or a 10 because that's what this whole car is freaking put together with. And I would be right with the 12. So, throw your 12 millimeter socket. Put that in there. And depending on how old the car is, it could be fairly tight. But mine seems to be coming off pretty well. I say that, but you know, that's never how it actually works. And voila, that little nut right there. And now this is all loose. So, cool. Unfortunately, because this has been sitting on the car since like 1977, the back of this is probably going to be extremely different color than the actual car, so that does suck. If you really want to get your money's worth, grab one of these. Just it makes your whole life a hell of a lot easier. So grab yourself a battery, make sure it's charged. Cool. One thing I'm going to miss about this little 5 mile an hour bumper is it is a damn good table. Like, you can set your coffee on there, your tools, whatever you want, but it's got to go because it's fucking ugly. And, you know, always put yourself a dead battery in your tools because that always helps. On the bright side, I have a brand new battery right here. So, just swap that out really fast. So much easier, especially whenever it comes to rust. Because as the fact that this car is 70 years old, well, 70 years old, from the 70s, everything on this car is rusty and gross. So, as you can tell with that bolt, the rubber gasket did not do its job. So, now that these are all empty, now we gotta do the hard part, and we gotta get underneath the car. So, that's gonna be a bit more of a pain in the ass, so stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna get underneath this thing, and there's a shitload of rust and probably a bunch of other crap underneath there, so it's recommended to wear eyeglasses. Your boy doesn't really have any of those, so I'm just gonna say fuck it and go with it. So it's recommended to grab some like WD-40 or some PB Blaster, spray that shit down because it does help unloosen everything. But yeah, just wash your eyes because the PB Blaster and the WD-40 getting in your eyes, especially with a bunch of rust and a bunch of shit, don't be like me. So, all right. So, as I guessed, The bolts are super fucking rusty. But there's two things that you should always have when you're dealing with rusty, stupid fucking cars. Get yourself a ratchet, because you're gonna need those. For this bottom bumper, to start the bolts, you're gonna need this long socket. That's the word I'm thinking of. Extended socket, because the nuts are just far enough. But once you back them off enough, grab yourself a fucking power wrench. This thing, save your fucking life. And your back. And the rest of your body. Do it. It's like $150 for a set. These things are amazing. No shout out to Ryobi or anything, but if you want to sponsor me, by all means. Anyway, so I got the two nuts off. They're actually fairly straightforward. Two nuts there, two nuts there. Now we're gonna rip the bumper off. This is the satisfying part. Although it's really fucking gross because underneath there is not show worthy in any means. So definitely gonna have to, we'll do a lot. So anyway, so I'm gonna set these aside. Once you get those off, the bumper kind of just falls off. So this is fucking heavy, so make sure to grab it with two hands and just kind of yoink. And that's it. So now you have this big giant fucking like, I don't know, 20, 30 pound piece of bumper that is no longer on the car. Super cool. So put this out of the way. And so now I'm going to kind of show you what we're going to be doing in the next couple days. If I can get the fucking camera. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these crash bumper things off. So this is basically a shock that goes all the way back through there on both sides. And then because of the fact that this shock especially goes behind this fucking gas tank, you gotta drop the gas tank, so that's a major pain in the ass, but it is what it is. This side you don't necessarily have to do anything. You may have to drop the exhaust. Yeah, so just drop the exhaust, or at least loosen it, and then you should be able to basically get them twisted, pull them out, and then that's it. So whenever we eventually get to the next day, I will see you guys then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, AJ here, day 2. We're back on the Datsun. We are going to be taking off the rest of the bumper situation. We're going to get into the interior, take the rear struts out, not the struts for the car, but the rear 5-mile-an-hour struts. So we're going to get into the side piece. There's a panel on one side and the other side that basically gives you access to the top bolts to get the 5-mile-an-hour strut out. And then you have to drop the gas tank, unfortunately, to get to the other side. So we already unloosened a bunch of stuff, and then we're basically going to just drop all the stuff, and yeah, so stay tuned on that one. Hey guys, so we're back now. We took the rear panels out. So there's that one on the driver's side, and then we've got another one on the passenger side, and that basically comes through here. This is the filler neck and stuff like that down here. You do need to at least take this apart, because when you drop the gas tank, it's connected to the actual gas tank. And then once this is all paked out, there's bolts. I don't know if you can actually see that. There's bolt there, and then one back over here, and that will drop the rear strut. And then same thing with the one over here. There's a strut there and there. So we're gonna pop those off and then be back in just a minute. Hey y'all, so we're back. So we got all of these taken out. Hold on. So we got these bolts taken out right here, and then we got these bolts taken out over here. And so what we do now is we need to go up into this back wheel well, unhook this filler neck to the gas tank. Then we need to drop the gas tank itself. And once that's the case, recommended to drain your gas tank at least a little bit before that, because it's a lot less heavy. And then once that's the case, you drop the gas tank just a little bit, and then you go up in here. If you drop your exhaust, it's also a little bit easier to get to, but there are 3 bolts just like up on top, up into the top side of the rear bumper area. And then same thing with over here. Certain cars, I think the 77 and the 78 have these, which are a little different than the earlier models. So you'll have to take these off on both sides, because with the skillered, basically skillered change plate to adapt the 240Z bumper into the 240 or 280, they actually hook up onto this, and then they hook onto the actual bumper itself. And then unfortunately you are probably going to have to drill in holes on the side of your Z, which, you know, some people don't like. I'm not the biggest fan about it, but it'll happen and I will deal with it. So yeah, so stay tuned on that one, and I'll get back to you guys whenever we're getting close to dropping the gas tank. Hey y'all, we're back. So we have gotten the driver's side shock out. We did it the wrong way, or the slightly harder way, and the slightly more destructive way. So if you're not ever planning on moving or putting the shocks back on, you can just take a Sawzall to the shock and do something kind of like that. It's not technically the right way to do things, but it'll work. Slightly sketchy, but you know, you'll do whatever you need to do. And once you got that side out, you pretty much don't need to worry about anything else. Now we got to do the pain in the ass part, and we got to drop the gas tank. So yeah, but yeah, get yourself a dad that has a Sawzall and doesn't mind cutting into your car, because, you know, it's your car.
It's not my car.
Doesn't care. Hey guys, AJ here. Basically, we have dropped the gas tank. So if you see right here, we've dropped it down.
I did.
And then now we're just basically taking the rear strut down. And then once that's the case, once the rear strut's down, we should be able to pop the rear strut off and put the gas tank back in. And that's pretty much it. And then we can start bolting up the other bumper, and that's pretty much it. We're finished for the most part. All right, everybody. So we are done with the install. As usual with these old ass cars, rust sucks. Everything on this sucks. The bolts don't fucking fit. The bolts don't go back in. They just love to just cause you all the pain. But she looks great now. So basically what we did, we put these all on. The skillered mounting plate, I don't know if you can really see that. There's a skillered mounting plate that keeps the bumper on the actual piece. And then you just drill a hole. Unfortunately, yes, you drill a hole into your car. That sucks, but it's whatever. And the it just drills in and threads through the nut. And then usually some people take this off. It's a whatever you prefer. I will keep it on for right now just because I'm lazy, and that causes me that I have to paint more, and I don't want to paint more. So yeah, I think honestly it looks great. I got to give a shout out to my pops and my little brother, because they absolutely killed it helping me out with this, because better pain with them than me. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. You know the drill, like, subscribe. I do have the front bumper installation video as well, so if you missed that and you're looking for the front as well, check that out. And then yeah, look at my other videos if you want, and thanks for hanging out. Bye bye.